Hey everyone, this is Robert Keens with goldsilverpros.com, and I wanted to do a real quick one today, talk about the silver market. And apparently there is a war going on in the silver market. I have today pulled up on the screen stock charts looking at the silver continuous contract from the CME. And I wanted to show you a couple of things that look very interesting on this chart. First, over here on the right, you can see that the volume is just off of the charts. And by the red and the green colors, you can see that there's a war going on between the longs and the shorts. And this war has increased to almost fanatical volume within the silver markets. And it's been that way since about 2017. But really since the turn down in the economy, the Q4 of 2018 here and on, it's just been this ridiculous buildup of longs and shorts and longs and shorts. And I talked about in my last video all of the open interest on the market. Open interest can either be long or short. It's just an overall measure. Well, you're seeing that here in the chart. More interest in silver, both long and short, that we've seen in a long time. The chart is graphed all the way back to 2009. And you can see even in the run up in the silver price here, the volumes only spiked a little bit, and they were heavier than they were before the financial crisis. But they reached sort of a little mean. You could draw a mean line right here, a little sort of plateau. And then about 16, silver went up to $20 and you saw volume spike, and then it kind of came back down. And then you saw 2018, some uncertainty in the economy. We saw the VIX, which is the fear of the market, start to tick up. And then silver has been this battleground ever since. And I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon until we have a resolution in the silver price. Now, I did want to show you something. The last time the 50-day moving average moved and stayed above the 200-day moving average, we had the run up in silver price to 50 and then down to 35 in 2011. And then it was a long, slow decline. You can see the 50-day moving average fall below. It retraced it a couple of times, but it stayed below. Well, here we have the 50-day moving average testing the 200-day right here and coming above it and then falling down and then coming right back up. And you can see the volume of where it fell, all of this red. That's all the shorts coming in here when they notice the 50-day has moved above the 200-day and just slamming the silver price down. But you see the longs coming back in and spiking this price back up. This looks like to me that we're going to have a big move in the silver price either way. And I've said time and time again, if you look at the fundamentals of the silver market, the cost to get it out of the ground, how much we use, the fact that we're now in supply deficit for the last few years and we don't have our big above ground stocks. And then in the last video where I talked about the futures markets, where we saw over 30 million ounces in the last few weeks, JP Morgan moving to the registered category in COMEX in anticipation of delivery against futures contracts. And then again on July 13th, earlier this week, where I had 1 million ounces moving a day. Overall, net of all the market participants from eligible to registered, meaning for physical delivery against the contract. So the longs are standing for delivery. I think the war, you can see it right here. They're standing for delivery. They're taking silver out of the COMEX. And one other thing I wanted to show you guys, I plotted an accumulation distribution chart. Accumulation distribution means it's an overall measure of, are we accumulating long positions or distributing or taking short positions, if you will. So we saw a run up after the financial crisis up until this peak. Now notice that the peak of accumulation was after the peak in the silver price. In fact, it was a good almost 2 years after the peak in the silver price. Investors were accumulating positions, long positions in particular, even as the price was falling. Now this started to fall once this $32, $35 level didn't hold. The 50-day moving average crashed to the 200-day, and then you start to see this distribution in silver. But the interesting thing is in 2019, second half of 2019, starting in July, you saw this accumulation build in silver. It came back down. It's rising back up again. This to me, this along with this volume chart, along with this 50-day moving average challenging the 200-day, twice in a row tells me that the longs are starting to take control of the silver market in the futures. Not only are they standing for delivery, but the longs are holding their ground and saying there's more accumulation of longs, and they're saying, no, we're going to go long. We believe the price of silver is going to go up. So that's the war that we're seeing in the silver market right now. It's very, very interesting to watch. This volume, this battle is so much more intense than it was even during the last financial crisis. And I think that is a measure of the volatility and the uncertainty in the market, along with the lack of above ground supplies of silver needed to run the global economy. Silver, of course, is used as an industrial metal in everything from medicinal devices to electronics to green energy such as solar into vehicles. I mean, it's in iPhones, it's used in everything. And so I think this is why that battle is occurring. If I had to sum it up in one sentence, I would say there's an industrial metal battle going here. And then about right here is where people are starting to see silver a little bit more as a crisis hedge and a monetary metal. And I think that's what's going to keep silver. It's going to get it back in the $20 range and beyond. And I think that's why we're going to have this massive bull market in silver. You can see it building in the chart. And I just wanted to illustrate that for you guys. Of course, keep paying attention to this accumulation chart, making sure that we continue to see accumulating longs in the market and that trend continues to go up. Of course, we're not where we were in 2013 at its peak, but we're not that far off either. And the trends are showing that people are starting to go long silver. Again, more data to show you on the charts. Silver is in the next leg of a massive bull market. This is Robert from goldsilverpros.com. Thank you so much for joining. Until next time.